Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tales of Recovery and Addiction. Sorry about that. Uh, Thanks for tuning in and sharing the videos, liking them, interacting with the video in any way helps the algorithm a lot. It really, really helps the algorithm. Uh, Content like this doesn't necessarily get put in the regular algorithm because it's about drug addiction or abuse or whatever the hell the topic is. So the algorithm doesn't really like pushing that. So the best way to get it into the algorithm is to share it. So, and everybody that's done that, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It really helps more than you know. Thanks to my Patreon members, anybody that's donated financially. That's never expected. That's not the reason I do this. So anybody that donates, it's just like, it really means a lot. So thank you for that. I want to do a moment of silence for the person still struggling with intrusive thoughts or addiction or anything like that. So on the count of three, I'm going to do a moment of silence. One, two, three. Okay, thank you for that. And without further ado, go ahead, or I'm going to go ahead and introduce my guest for the day. Go ahead and introduce yourself and what your drug of choice was.
Hi, my name is Ashley. My drug of choice was meth and cocaine.
Okay. And walk us through like what led up to you using like the first time. Like, and what did you use the first time?
Well, coke was like always around, so like I never had an addiction to coke exactly, or any type of drugs to be exact. So, the day that I ended up using meth, I met this guy at the bar. We were just hanging out, and I decided to go for a walk, and we were gonna buy a bottle and go to the park. Well, he was sniffing something, snorting. And I was like, hey, what do you got? He's like, meth. I said, can I try that? And he's like, no, it's addictive. And I was like, I've never been addicted to anything, here, let me do it. And I snorted it for the first time and it was game over from then.
Okay. And about what age were you when this happened?
27, 28.
27, 28. Okay. And did it so the coke was never really that much of a problem for you, but then the meth kind of like was different.
Yeah, because it was like so different, everything on it was better, like your adventures, your encounters, you know,
Mm-hmm.
relationship, leave it at that. All of that was, better. So
Yeah.
I never had I was just like, wow, this is great.
Yeah, and it also lasts longer. It lasts way longer, and so it's better
Yeah,
for your buck in the long run.
it lasts longer. You can go walk around for hours and you don't even know where you're at. You're just like, how did I get here? It's
Yeah.
almost like a teleport. Like you're teleporting and you don't even know it in your own
Hmm.
little, yeah.
Yeah, and I always remember the speed walk that I used to do. It's just like I would get to fucking 7-Eleven from my house in like 5 minutes or less, and it's just like, how did you walk that fast? It's like I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, okay, so it started with that, and did was it always snorting, and was that your preferred method of ingestion?
So it was snorting like the first time, and then it was normally smoking, out of a bubble. And it's kind of funny because I never thought of myself as a junkie because I just smoked it. And,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
I always thought like the people that used needles, they were the junkies.
yeah,
I'm okay, I'm good, I got me.
yeah.
Um, yeah, there was, yeah.
No, I remember thinking that too. I was like, if I just do it every now and then I'm not a junkie. And then, eventually I ended up using needles and stuff. But did somebody show you how to use the pipe correctly? Like, did you have like a whole? Because when I first started smoking, like these people were on my ass about fucking just like not hitting it wrong, not burning it. Like fucking, this is how you do it. Like this is how you're supposed to do it. Like, did anybody show you, or were they more laid back, or just like kind of let you learn how to do it?
Well, like for the longest time, people would light it for me, and I would
Yeah.
just put it to my mouth, and then hit it. And then after a while, I got to watching them when they were like rotating it and stuff, and I'd be like, I'm gonna get a better hit if I do it myself.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I did. So I started taking it and doing it myself. And then I became the person you were just talking about that if you burnt the dope, I was
Yep.
pissed.
Yep. 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 Because then it tastes nasty for the rest of the time. It always tastes nasty, in my opinion, but it tastes so much nastier when it's burnt, when it's fucking burnt, or somebody hit it wrong. Like, yeah, no. That was a huge pet peeve for me too. Um, Okay, how
Yeah, I
long?
agree with that. It tasted like wet dog almost. And then if it was burnt, it was like wet dog with like a nasty grill charcoal on top of it. It was just disgusting.
Yeah, it literally tasted like barbecue. It was fucking disgusting, but it was like barbecue chemicals. It was nasty.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Did you ever get any like respiratory issues or like, because for me, like it didn't happen for like a while when I was doing meth, but like meth in particular had me after a certain point, like I would be for days coughing. Like you'd feel like something was in my throat and I couldn't clear it out. And I'd be coughing. And by the end of the day, I'd be exhausted. And it was one of the worst things that I hated about meth. But did you ever have any like respiratory or like nasal issues?
I never had it or didn't notice that during my addiction part, but when I got sober and I was like 4 years sober, I remember going to the hospital thinking I had pneumonia because
Hmm.
of the coughing and all of that, and found out that I actually have a heart failure from it.
Really? They told you you had heart failure?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
they told me I had heart failure, and I thought, because when I went to the hospital and they were gonna admit me, I go, well, normally for pneumonia, you just give me a shot, give me an the Advil thing, and then pat me on my ass and go home. And they're like, well, you have heart failure, and I was like, but I'm young. I understand I'm a little overweight, but I'm still young for that. And they're like, well, in your history it says that you did meth, and I was like, yeah, but that was like 5 years ago. And they're like, well, you don't think from 5 years ago till now that it would affect you? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's always like the long-term implications of things that it's not like I didn't think about it, but there was like so many things that I'd never considered could even happen, you know? And it's just crazy until you really get off of the drugs, like like you don't really see that stuff like until you're actually like off the drugs for an extended period of time. Because there was periods where I would be off the drugs for days, not by choice, but because I didn't have money to get them or something like that. But it didn't really hit me until I'd been sober for like, honestly a year or longer, for me personally. Um, so it's just crazy that we don't think about those things in the moment, really.
Well, we're too busy partying, having fun, and not thinking about the consequences of our actions. I mean, 90% of the time when we drink or we do drugs, we don't think about our what we're doing until the next day or whenever. At this point, with what meth is 4 days later, and you don't even know that you've been up for 4 days. You're like,
Yep.
how did I that happen?
Doesn't even feel like
And
you've been up that long. Doesn't even feel like you've been up that long. A
no,
lot
and
of
then
the
you're
time.
seeing all these shadows and stuff, and everybody's like, you need to go to bed. You haven't been to bed and blah blah blah. I'm like, no, I just went to bed last night.
Yeah, yeah, right. I went on a 14-day spree one time. Like it wasn't 14 days, it
Oh,
wasn't 14 days like straight because there was periods in there where I would be like, how do I explain this? Like I wasn't sleeping and I wasn't awake. Like it
yes,
was
yes, during
almost
that
like
period where it's like you were like your brain wasn't shut off. You were still thinking about everything and
yeah,
anything, but you felt like you were like sleeping.
yeah, exactly. And then when I'd come out of that, I'd feel like I'd actually rested. It was like the weirdest fucking like trip ever. But like when I finally went to sleep, it was like the fucking 12th day or something like that. I ended up staying up a little bit longer, not by choice. I was like, kind of in that state that we were just talking about, for the 2 days after that. But on the 12th day, I kind of just put myself into that state, just like, uh, on purpose because like my jackets were turning into like people. Like I swear to God, I had like a coat hanger and my
Shadow
jacket, I had
puppet.
like this big black jacket on it and it was fucking animating. It was straight up animating and like coming towards me. I was like, no fucking, I was like, no. I was like, no, this is what they're talking about when you stay up way too long. Like, fuck
So
that.
I got a better story for you on that one. When I first did it, I didn't understand the shadow tree shadows and all of that. And we were walking for a while, and then we stopped at this house. I was standing there, and there was a three, like I saw three images. One with like a thing across their face, one that had an AK on it, and like I forgot what the other one was. And I'm like, dude, these people about to kill us since all of this. Look, you see these people right there, and they're like, there's nothing there. There's like, I swear to God, there's something there. And he's like, no. So the dude walks me up to it. It's three fucking flower planters.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
the hanging planters. And I'm like, no, there was three people there a minute ago. Where did they go?
It's so crazy the things your mind will do. It's so crazy. Like I've seen some crazy stuff on meth and I've had I think honestly for me with meth was different than opiates for me because with meth like it was the interactions that I had like kind of like you were saying like the people I met, the interactions I had and just like the whole like all night party like we're not stopping like there's always something going
Yeah.
down like fuck it like if these people go to bed like I'm gonna call this other person like what are you doing like let me come through like let's smoke like just the never ending party cycle of it was very
Well,
attractive to me for some
yeah,
reason.
and for me is I've never done opiates, but
Hmm.
I was always the party girl. I always wanted to go to the bars. I always wanted to go to parties. I always wanted to dance. So for me, like doing math, it was like, oh my God, I could do all of this and like, like be at this person's house and then 20 minutes later I'm gonna go to this person's house. And before long I visited like eight friends and like what you would normally visit in like a 2 week span.
Yeah, and like you, I feel like I would have the deepest conversations with people a lot of the time. Like maybe I wasn't, maybe I was just talking a bunch of shit, but like to me, it felt like we were really vibing, like we were really on this level where we were just locked into each other's thoughts and stuff. It was very attractive to me for that reason.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Okay. What was the longest amount of time that you stayed up for ever?
I think the longest I ever stayed up was like 9, 10 days.
Okay. Okay.
But like you said, there was that periods where like you kind of had your brain shut off, but like
Hmm.
you could still feel everything, taste everything, and
Hmm.
like I don't know how many days I'd go without drinking, and then all of a sudden I get the
Yep.
worst leg pain, the worst cramps ever, and was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
And I'd
because
have to guzzle down a bunch of water.
yeah, because you're super dehydrated. Water is like that's like literally that's like number one. If there was like a pyramid of like important things when you're on like not trying and I'm just gonna state here, I'm not encouraging any drug use, but if you are using hard drugs or if you do use them, water you need to
Yeah.
stay hydrated. Like if you're not hydrated, like nothing like your body's gonna start shutting down, like you're gonna start, you start getting like you can get organ failure from it if you're fucking dehydrated for too long. Y
Probably how I got meth failure. Probably how I got the heart failure.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we don't really, it's so hard to like keep track of that. Like I had a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but like every now and then there would be people that I would be tweaking with that would be on top more, a lot more on top of it, like staying hydrated than others. And they would actually be like,
Yes.
no, you need to drink. Like, here, drink this now. Like you haven't drank. Like I've sat and watched you. Like you haven't drank for like 2 hours. You need to drink, dude. Like,
Or they give you Pedialyte and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm
mhm.
not a baby. Why are you giving me
Yep.
Pedialyte?
Yeah,
And like
exactly.
you're all and the thing about it, I don't know about you, is you're so argumentative on it too, though.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like they don't just like why like arguing about getting some Pedialyte in me that would, hydrate me. I don't want that. Well, you need to. It's like,
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't. No, I
um,
don't. I'm fine,
yeah.
I can take care of it. Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Did you ever have like any nevers you said you would never do, and like if you did, that would be game over where you would end it?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely well, I don't know about end it, but like what do you mean by end it? Like I want to kill myself
Like you
or
would
just like
stop getting like you would stop doing drugs, you would get
okay.
help.
I mean, needles was honestly one of those for me, but needles was very, very, it was very peculiar to me because, like, I had that whole feeling of like, if I ever end up injecting, like, that's the end, like, that's pretty much rock bottom. Like, it's just gonna go way far down from there and it's gonna continually, like, there's no fucking going forward, especially when you're on needles. Like, that's all you're chasing. Like, you need that. Like, I needed that. Like, it didn't matter what I did, didn't matter what I said. Like, it didn't matter if I had friends, like I just needed to get my next fix. It's like, and you get so much sicker from it. So for needles, like it was like that, but then also it felt so much better. And like I was on top of the world and like I only had to do like one shot and I'd be high for, days, like, well, on the meth in particular, but on the heroin too, it would make it last longer. And you would get this more intense like build up and with the heroin, it was the warm blanket of comfort around me that every single part of my body was tingling and I felt like I was okay and I was accepted and I was safe. Like it's really hard to explain, but heroin
Yeah,
was
I got
harder for
you.
me. But yeah, there needles for me for sure. But I also had a lot of experiences where I got myself into situations or I ended up in situations because of the drugs I was doing that I could have died in. It could definitely wouldn't been good. Like I've almost been raped several times. Like I've almost been like killed because of other people's actions, because of where I was living when I was homeless. Like just like in these tent encampments where I don't know if anybody else knows out there, but they have a whole hierarchy in there. Like they run shit. Like there's leaders in there that call the shots. The one I was a part of, like the Vietnamese mafia, like was running it. It was here in Seattle, and it was it was really fucking bad. It was up in Chinatown, and so the girl I was with at the time, got a front or whatever without telling me. And so they came looking for me saying, "Where the fuck's my money? Your girl, like, we know this is your girl. Like, give me my fucking money or I'm gonna cut you." Like, he had a machete and shit. So stuff like that, like, it just, you never know you're gonna end up in those situations or never think you will until you do. And when you do, it's like, what the fuck am I even doing, dude? Like, really? Like,
Hmm.
just to get high? Like, really? Like, I'm out here
So like,
homeless. Like, like,
my addiction was I was always with people, and then it got to the fact where I didn't even want to do drugs with anyone else because I didn't want to share.
yep, me
Like
too.
I was like at the point where I was like, you know what? I can get higher longer and save more money if I just do it myself.
Yeah,
But
it turned me super
those were
selfish.
always it was the only lonely way. Like, it was definitely lonely. So mine never was actually needles. Was I never would do needles with anyone. And the one time that I did do needles, I let somebody shoot me up. Not condoning it. I'm saying right now, not condoning drugs, not
Yep.
glorifying my addiction or glorifying because people say sometimes when you talk about it, you're glorifying it. I'm not
Yep.
glorifying it at all. It was horrible.
Yep.
So when he shot me up in my wrist, it bubbled.
Oh
So
God,
like it
it's not
didn't go
fun.
through. And so then he shot me up in my foot. And when it did that, it got the one in my wrist to bubble go through too. So I was super like almost at the stage of overdosing. And I remember feeling good for a few minutes that like you almost see diamonds. I don't know if you like
Yeah.
ever like
Yeah,
visualize
your
like you
vision
see like
goes like fucking, it's almost like blurry, but it's not blurry. It's like it's just like shiny.
it
Yeah.
looked like if you were looking in a champagne glass and it was just sparkly and like beautiful and like
Yeah.
I
Yes.
don't know, like again, not condoning that at all,
Yeah.
but when I really realized it, my stomach was bouncing like I had like a nine
Hmm.
month old, 2 month old baby in there.
Yeah.
Like I was overdosing and wasn't noticing. And so he called the cops, but and the ambulance but kicked me out of his house because he didn't want me to know
Yeah. Yeah.
or anyone else to know what was going on. So he kicked me out. And I remember waiting for the ambulance and the cops came and I'm trying to tell the cops I'm fine and arguing with them because I wasn't trying to go to the hospital. I really wasn't.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where they're like, well, you have no records. So do you really want to pin a drug record on your record, and make you a first record? You can either go with me and go to the hospital anyway,
Yeah.
or you can go
Mandatory.
to the hospital on your own. And this never happened. So of course I picked the latter because I didn't want a record. And
Yeah.
when I went to the hospital and they did what they did, gave me all that stuff, made me feel better and got me on my way. When I looked in the mirror, I couldn't see me no more. I just saw like an image. Like it
Yeah.
was like I knew it was me, but it wasn't me because like I just, I was like I just became the one person, the one thing I would never do, and it was a game over for me. I was like, I'm getting help. And I did, and I had sprees where I got help and I'd relapse, but I'd get sprees. I have 11 years now, going on 12 years actually in November
Congrats.
off of meth. November 8th is going to be 12 years. Um, I mean, I drink, I've had drinks here and there, but I don't cause that as like, like relapse because I don't have a problem with alcohol. I have a problem
Well,
with
yeah,
meth. I
it's
have a problem with
moderation.
drugs.
It's moderation too. I feel like everything, if you can moderate, some people just can't do anything at all. Like there are some addicts that just, if they touch weed, they're gonna smoke crack that same day. If they drink a beer, they're gonna smoke meth the same day. Like there are people like that, and I
Yeah.
actually know people like that. But for me personally, smoking cannabis and drinking maybe in a social setting, like I don't even do it hardly at all. But if I'm in a social setting with another person that drinks, I might have a cider or two. Three is my max, three little cans of cider. I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
I'm not going for being fucked up and on my mind. I'm going for drinking socially. Like I'm enjoying this drink. I'm gonna drink it slowly, like I'm
Hmm.
enjoying the flavor.
So I'm
Um,
dating a normie. He doesn't know anything about drugs. Like he'll talk to me about drugs acting like he knows, but he really doesn't. And so like we got in arguments about it because, I'm like, I live this life. You know friends that have it. I've lived this life. And so I'll drink with him occasionally, like on his weekend days off, he likes to have a couple drinks, whatever.
mhm.
And then it's not like I know I need it, like you said, but if I'm watching somebody drink a drink and I'm pouring it for him, I'm gonna want one,
Yeah, yeah,
you
exactly. Why
know.
not?
But I don't need it. I don't necessarily like we were sitting there and I was like, hey, we should save the rest of our drinks for Monday when you're off. And he was at first like, no, let's just do it now. And I'm like, but we're gonna want to drink on Monday too, and we don't have the money right now. So, and actually after I said that, that's when he was like, oh, okay. He's like, are you sure you're an addict? I was like, I'm not an addict of alcohol. You can drink my alcohol. That's why I'm saying, I can control myself on
Yeah,
alcohol.
I don't need another drink right now. Like it would be nice, but I don't need it.
Yeah, like it would be nice. We're eating dinner, finishing our drink we have. After that, we can finish watching the movie and go to bed. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay. Um, what was did you ever have like any scary like encounters or like incidents happen to you or any weirdos like come around you when you were high or
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
yeah. So I used to, like you said, you put yourself in situations where
Yeah.
technically weren't probably the best situations to be in. Mine was, I'm a night owl. I like walking at night. I do
Mm-hmm.
everything I do at night for the most part. Which me and my boyfriend clashed on that too, because I want to go to the park at 2 in the morning. And he's like, we live in the hood. As you know, I moved to Philadelphia and you were
Yep.
the first one to mention Kensington. And that's where I'm from, where I'm living. So,
Yeah.
I'm probably not a good idea to walk at 2 o'clock in the morning.
You'll
But
see a lot
that's
of
where I
savory,
get
you'll see a lot of interesting people.
But the couple times I have gone, it's been me at the park alone. I didn't see anyone, so I'm like, this isn't fucking anything. Are we allowed to cuss? Like, or
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah.
I. So like for me, it was like it's not that bad of a deal, Like I'm just sitting at the park listening to my music, letting my aggression out, screaming fuck as loud as I can, because in my apartment people can hear me, and it would just be a mess. And so back when I was in my addiction, I didn't care about nothing. Like I'd go in abandoned buildings and that's where I would
Mm-hmm.
live for the most part.
Yeah.
And you speak about being raped. I have been raped a couple of times because I put myself in abandonment, places where sketchy people, I didn't have guns, I didn't have a taser at the time. And so
Yeah.
what went down, I don't need to go into detail on that.
Mm-hmm.
But if I would have if I would tell people nowadays, I'd be like, just do it at somebody's house if you're gonna do it. Don't be stupid because the world isn't like we think it is anymore. It's not as kind. It's not as I leave you alone if you leave me alone. It's not like that like it used to be when our parents were growing up. And nowadays it's I leave you alone, but you're still gonna screw around with me. You're still gonna play games that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
And so a couple of occasions, I've had knives to my throat. I've had guns in my head saying if I didn't do what they wanted game over. And
Yeah.
being a girl, like, what do you do in that situation?
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to fight you off.
And meth heads are some of the most like unpredictable people. Like I've also been around people that just like they just flip like a switch, like a switch flips, and they're just a completely different person. And all of a sudden, I need to get out of their house. Like one of the people I was staying at their house, and like all 1 minute, I love you, bro. Like I have no problem. Thanks for contributing to the household and whatever. And the next moment, he takes a fucking hit. Get the fuck out of my house. Like if anybody's in my house in the next 10 minutes, like you're gonna have problems. Like get the fuck out. Like leave your shit, get out. Like just weird shit.
Yeah,
Like, you
like
know?
you'd be hanging out with somebody and the girl will be there and apparently, their girl would come out of pocket and the next thing you know, they're grabbing as soon as they go and grab their glove, I'm already out because
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
didn't know what was gonna go for a couple of times. But as soon as they grab their glove, it's not going to be a pretty sight. Get the heck out. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
don't think watching the drama is going to be good because it actually terrorizes you.
No, and you'll get involved. You'll get dragged into it somehow. you'll look at them wrong, like when they're fucking turning around or something like that, and then you'll get
And they're gonna be
involved.
like, "Do you want it
Yep,
too?" No, I
exactly,
don't.
exactly. Yeah. So were you ever homeless? It
Oh,
sounds
I
like
was homeless pretty much 99% of my addiction. So I was the girl that you probably wouldn't have thought was going to be a drug addict. I had the happy home life. Well, my mom left when I was 14, so I had that little bit of trauma, like. But for the most part, I was that girl, whatever, did drugs here and there. Never would have. You would have never thought, like, looking at me, my boyfriend calls me Snow White. He says I can sound Valley, look Valley, act Valley. And I'm like, but you don't know the part of me that I don't tell you, the part of me that you don't need to know. But he's like, all right, Snow White. And that pisses me off so bad. 'Cause I'm like, like, I'm not a snowflake. I'm not Snow White. And so I was like, okay. And so I left him. Like, yeah, I've been pretty much most of my addiction from when I hit 28. And my parents found out about me doing meth until I got clean and ended up going to a clean and sober house. I don't know if you've ever done any of that,
Oh yeah.
but that saved my ass.
Okay. So you went into cleaning. So did your parents kick you out right away? Or like was there a like ultimatum they gave you or like do you remember when you got kicked out for good?
So like with me, I was always off and on with my parents to begin with, living with them, and I had confided in a friend that I started doing meth, and she told my parents. And my parents,
God.
here I am, 28, 27 already, My dad actually went to the dope house looking for me, like driving around the block, yelling my name and beeping the horn.
That's some shit that
Like,
my mom would do, dude. My mom's kind of like that.
so I ran out of the house and my dad screaming at me from the parking lot. And though they didn't throw me out right away, but they didn't really want me living there anyways to begin with. So we went to a house, the rental rooms. Well, the
Hmm.
guy claimed this was clean and sober house. He was doing crack more than anybody was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he ended up kicking me out of there. And when he ended up kicking me out of the house because I had a guy come over. And when he ended up that started my whole phase of being homeless for the whole time duration of. I'm a really good gift to gab person. I can tell you what you want to hear, how you want to hear it. That's why the Snow White is kind of funny because I can talk, eat my way into anything. And so I'd go to clean the sober houses in the middle of the month and say, "Oh, I'll pay you extra when I get paid," knowing damn fucking well that as soon as the 30th came around or the 29th, my shit was packed underneath and I was ready to bounce before you can even say,
Yeah,
"Here's my money."
all that money's already spoken for, man. Like
Yeah, that money's already spoken.
I've already spent it before I even got it.
So like I'd bounce, if you go to like King County, I'm probably sure there was no clean and sober house. If they had looked in my face and knew who I was, that would let me stay there anymore. But the day that I overdosed, I went to an AA meeting. If you want me to tell the little part of how I got into that, I can.
Yeah.
So I went to the hospital, did that, and I went to an Arby's, and I was the Arby's. I don't know if you know Burien at all or anything
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
that.
actually live in Burien right now.
Oh, you moved?
Well, I'm in White Center, so not technically Burien, but
Yeah. So Burien, you know where the Arby's is and the Albertsons, the Arby's and all of
yep,
those
yep,
places?
like shopping
Four
center thing.
Corners. Yeah, like the Four Corners, I think it's called.
Yeah.
So it was like probably like well, I don't exactly know how long I sat there, but the lady was like, "You gotta leave," and I was like, "Ma'am, I'm just sitting outside on the little, how they had that little one table,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
chilling, like I had nowhere to go at this point. There's nowhere to
Yeah.
go, no ups, no downs. There was no room in the inn for me anywhere. And so I was just sitting there and she ended up calling the cops on me.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so the cops were like, they could see that I was already whacked out still, even though they did what they did, I was still high as whatever you can say. And
Hmm.
they're like, "Do you know what time it is?" I look up at the sky at like at the sun, like the sun's gonna tell me what time it is. And I go like, I look up and I go, "Oh, it's about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon." And they're like, "Ma'am, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. Where can we take you? We're not trying to And I was like, "Well, there's an AA meeting." And I remember
Hmm.
going to an AA meeting and there was this guy Mark sitting out there. He's like, "Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you finally done with the tilt-a-whirl? Are you done?" I was like, "Yes." And he's like, I was like, "I need fucking help. Help me." And he sent me to a place for a clean sober house. And I stayed there for like 6 years. Off and on, I relapsed. They would let me go, and then they bring me back. But I would say that when 2014 was there, I got finally clean. I was done. Met my match, met my maker. There was no more. All right, I'm done art. That was his name. Please let me stay. And from there, I stayed there for another 5 years. And then my mom got sick. And my dad was like, "Hey, I need you to come home." And that's when I like got back with my family stuff. And my dad's
Yeah.
like, "I need you to come home and help out with my mom." And I was like, "Well, my stepmom." And I was like, I was trying to like didn't really want to because we didn't have a relationship good, but
Yeah.
you can't turn back on family. And so I would help her, and that's actually how I got my amends with my mom for putting her through everything I put her through because I put her through hell.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I put that lady through everything
Yeah.
here for plenty of times. And I remember when she was on her deathbed and she was in a hospital. I said, "Well, how can I make amends to you for everything I've done?" And she said, "Just stay sober." And I had an episode here and there with coke, but for the most part, I never touched meth again. Like I never touched it again. Never want to. I don't want to see it. You have it in predicament. If I know it's with you, you're out of my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I already tell people right away. I tell my boyfriend's friends. In fact, this guy was like, "Well, do you want us to bring crack when we come?" And I'm like, "What?" Like he asked nonchalantly, like, "Do you want us to bring a present?" I'm like, "Do you want?" Well, my girlfriend likes to, put coke with their weed, and I'm like, "Babe, I don't feel safe with this dude coming. He's not coming to. I'm not. You want to hang out with him? You can go somewhere, but he ain't coming in the house."
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Don't let that shit around
I
you.
yeah, I'm already, I already battle a drug addiction, and you want to have somebody. He's like, "Well, I swear I didn't know that." And so, like, the dude, I ripped him an asshole, and he blocks me because I ripped him an asshole talking about, do I want coke? When he knows that I was in addiction
Yeah.
already,
Yeah.
and you want to do you want me to bring drugs to your house? No, I don't want. No. And so if you're around me and you have drugs and I know it, I'm walking the other way or I'm kicking you out of my house.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. You got to protect your fucking your space. You know.
I moved to Puyallup and I met this guy I was trying to help, and he was taking the longest shower ever, and he was smoking meth in my bathroom. And I have a nephew I have children that were in the
Yeah.
house.
That's fucked
And
up. You know.
you tell me a meth addict doesn't know when they go and smell a certain smell. You know exactly what the
No,
hell they
it
were
does.
doing.
And people that say that meth doesn't smell, you're on crack, dude. It has a certain smell. Like it
It has a
literally,
chemical, horrible chemical
yeah.
smell.
Especially when you like smell it from somebody else. Like if somebody else blows a hit like in your direction, it smells
Yes.
fucking horrible, dude. It
And so
smells
I went
so
into the
nasty.
bathroom. I mean, like right after because I had to pee because he took so long. And I went in there and I'm like, dude, you gotta go.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
mean,
go,
like,
dude.
I wasn't doing anything. I'm like, dude, you're telling a meth addict that knows meth that there was no, you weren't doing anything. A, nobody takes a 1.5 hour shower and not be doing anything with cold water running. And B, you just gotta go. I have kids. Like, no, no,
Yeah,
you gotta
fuck
go.
no. Like he could get your kids taken from you for some shit like that, you
Well,
know?
it wasn't my kids. I was living at the house, which he could have got me kicked out of my place
Yeah, yeah,
because they could have
definitely.
think I was doing it, which I wasn't. And I got,
Yeah.
at that time, what, a 15 or 16-year-old nephew in the house? No, I'm good.
Yeah,
Like, you
no,
gotta
fuck
go.
that.
And then he was all like, da 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 da, da. And like, I'm like,
No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. You know, like, yeah.
yeah, like, so
Yeah.
argue. And like, when you argue with me and you're so argumentative, I know you did it. Just own up. If you would have owned up to it, I'm sorry. You could watch me if I go to the bathroom from now on, blah, 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 blah. Like, made a
Yeah.
whole I might have, I don't even know, but I might have had
Yeah.
more of a, pity because I know where he was to be like, okay, like you can stay as long as I know where you are and I go wherever you go. But he wanted to argue and argue, and it was I'm like, I don't need to argue. I'm not doing drugs.
Yeah, it's like don't try and play me for a fool when I did drugs for over a decade, bro. Like don't try and play me for a fool, you know? Because it's
So
not
like
gonna
with
work.
you, like, did you have a lot of people that have died around you from drug overdose that you would have been like, if you would have just told me, I know what it was like I could have maybe got help for you or something, or like blamed yourself because you didn't do more than you could for somebody.
Yeah, I've actually had a good friend of mine die in my arms of a heroin overdose. I tried to save him. I wasn't fast enough. Um, I've lost, so many people that I've lost track of like the number throughout my entire like if I were to like count from the first person that died back when I was in high school who actually got his name was Luke, and he got rest in peace. He was he had gotten something that was he was told it was one thing and it was another, and it killed him. And right after that happened, these people ran in his house, and he was just like you could go to this person for certain things, let's just say that. And in high school, and he was very well known, and they went in and took everything. They pretty much killed him just to rob him. And it was like
Wow.
a known thing in the high school. I went to West Seattle High, so if you went to West Seattle High, or anybody that watches this, like if you went to West Seattle High in, like, 2003 to 2008, you probably know who I'm talking about. Because it, like, everybody was told about it, and was friends with a lot of people. So from that point to the time I got sober, and even like now, because I'm still on the methadone clinic, so I still develop, like, I wouldn't say friends, like I don't really go out there to make friends, because still methadone clinic, half of the people are still got one leg in and one leg out of the whole sobriety thing. There and I was actually one of those people too. I used methadone and used heroin and meth too at the same time until I was finally ready. But until that point, and even further on now, I've lost track of how many people I've lost. I've It's so crazy to me, because like after a certain point of losing so many people, it's like I feel it in my soul, but it's like it's almost like I'm numb to it. You know what I mean? I'm not numb to it because I feel it, but it's happened so many fucking times that it's like,
Yeah.
how much can I
But
really?
like the two like ones that hit me most was like the first time I've actually knew somebody like passed away from overdosing was in the clean and sober house, and his name was Blake. I had talked to him probably an hour before I found out he was dead. He had a cold, he said, and he said he was gonna go lay down, and I went to go lay down myself just to take a nap or whatever. And I just would come to me in my room and wake me up saying that he died. And I'm like, what do you mean? I just talked to him. If this is a joke, don't even, they're like, no. And then you could actually like saw him bringing out in a body bag and everything. And it was like the most horrid thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, and I've seen a lot of stuff, but just seeing one of your friends be carried out in a body bag, like I've gone to funerals and it's not even that bad as that was.
Well, yeah, because
Or being
there's so much wasted potential.
or being told like the one friend you see on Facebook, rest in peace, that you like knew for a while. And like I saw this one guy, Bruce, I knew him for the whole time I was in my sobriety in the clean sober house. And I had just talked to him 2 days before, and I was trying to get him. He wanted to come over my house and hang out inside my house, but most people when they're on drugs, if they go in your house, they're not going to get out of your house. They're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
nest.
yeah.
It's called nesting, and I didn't want him to nest. Wasn't my house to begin with. Our house was a mess to begin with and dirty. Like my
Hmm.
that doesn't matter, but. So I was trying just to have him come over, and he's like, "No, I'll just go buy this, and I'll go back to where I was at." Well, I know where it was at was like a big drug chain. And I kept trying to get him to come to my because he said he had money to go buy a portable TV thing, like so you put it on there so you can watch TV. So I knew he had a lot of money on him. And I kept trying to say like, no, 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 like please don't, please don't. And then 2 days later, I saw it on the fucking Facebook, rest in peace. And I immediately it broke me down to being like, if I wouldn't have been so selfish, and maybe let him come to my house, I wouldn't have gone that way.
Yeah.
But then other people are like, well, if he was already doing it, what if he would have died in your bed with you?
Yeah.
Like actually in your bed, like,
Yeah.
because you let him.
Yeah. It
So I
always,
mean, there was like, like, oh shit.
yeah. And it's really crazy, especially when like you've known this person, you were talking to them, or like you actually hung out with them in person. It's like because you see that person and like who they really, because like especially like when I would have these deep conversations with people, like that their real self would a lot of the time that would come out, like for a lot of the people, like they would show their real self and like glances at that real self, and then they would like go back into hiding. But there was be little bits and pieces of their real self, and you would get to see that, and then when they
Well, like
die, it's just like, what the fuck, man?
he was sober for the longest time. He had more sobriety than I did, and then he ended up something happened with him being the house manager or something, and him and the clean and sober head honcho guy having beef. he moved out, and then from then he went back to doing drugs. But he had like we didn't like each other for the longest time. We fought every time we saw each other. We'd argue, and it got to the point like I could see in his eyes like the twinkle in his eyes. Sometimes I was like, life was breathing for him. He was good. He was good. Like, and his favorite saying at 6 o'clock in the morning. 6 o'clock would piss me off so bad. I'd be drinking my cup of coffee. Ashley, what do you think the meaning of life is?
Oh my
What
God.
the fuck are you talking about? It's 6 o'clock in the morning, bro. And every morning he would do this to me. And then after a while, he would just laugh about it. He'd be like, Ashley, and he'd give me this look, and I'd be like, Bruce, I'm gonna uppercut you if you ask. Like, oh. But you know what? Then I would think of that now. What is the meaning of life? It's like if you're a junkie or like, not, I hate that word. If you have a drug addiction, it's, doing that part of your life, getting sober and living for others that you can help out. Everywhere I go, I try to help at least some person if I can. I don't, people that say, oh, give this person money on the street, they're just going to use it for drugs.
Yeah.
Well, being in that situation of where I needed those drugs,
Yeah. To survive.
it
Yeah.
wasn't at this point, it wasn't me wanting to get high. I needed to get high. I needed not to get sick. I needed it like you need breakfast every morning.
Yeah.
Like you need air. I needed that. So I'll give somebody $10 and they'll be like, well, that's just too much money. And I'm like, is it your money though? Like, is it yours? Like, what are you afraid that I'm not gonna buy you something because I'm giving them this? Like what is it? Why does it matter?
Yeah.
Or I'll go outside and like jump out of the car and go pray with somebody real quick.
Yeah.
And ask, like, I've done that a couple of times, and be like, hey, can I pray for you? And like they'll be like, that was dangerous. Okay, they're not all bad people just because they're on the side of the road. They're not all bad.
No, and actually that could be you if you fucking lost your job and didn't have a way to pay your rent, like for even like a couple months. Especially in a
It's
lot
not
of
all
places,
drug
you know?
addiction. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not all drug addiction. And it's like you just see somebody on the side of the road. Yeah, 98% of the time I'm gonna say it's drug addiction.
Yep.
But they're still fucking people at the end of the day. They're still somebody's son. They're still somebody's daughter. They're still somebody's, father, mother, whatever. They're still somebody. They're a human being. Sorry, I get emotional.
No, you're
They're a
fine.
human being at that point, they're a human being. They still have fucking a breath in their soul.
Yeah. There's
Sorry
always a
about that one.
chance. There's always a chance for redemption, you know? And just like coming out of it. And I just look at my story and like your story and a lot of other people's stories, and it's like if I can make it out, if you can make it out, like anybody can make it out. Like they have to. I think that
There's a way.
yeah, I
There's a
think for
way.
what for you was the biggest motivation to like get out and like stay sober?
Um, because like I said, shooting up and saying I never wanted to be that person.
Mm-hmm.
And then staying sober, realizing that like my story can help so many other fucking people get off fucking drugs. And like I go to AA meetings. I don't know if you do, but I go to AA meetings and I go to NA meetings and I share my story because there might be that one person who needs to hear what I have to say
Mm-hmm.
and that will help them. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Mother Teresa or anything like that. Don't get me like I'm gonna save the world kind of, but if I can help somebody even with a sandwich, what's it? I like helping people. I like seeing when they get sober and they get that twinkle in their eye back.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've actually seen the twinkle in the eye from the dark soul that you knew them as. And their eyes were so dark and black, and then
Yeah,
they got
sometimes
that
it even
hope.
takes sometimes it goes around the whole corner, like their whole eye is black. It lit
Yeah,
like
and
have
then
you seen that? That shit's
yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Like I have a friend in active addiction now, and I tell him all the time I'm praying for him and stuff like that. And I'll text him every once in a while, but when he goes into detail about his drugs or starts to get on an X-rated version, because X-rated when you're high, I'm like,
Yeah.
I got to go. Like I
Yeah.
have too much stuff to do, but I told him one day, I said, I hope you're not next. And he goes, what's that mean? I said, I hope you're not next that I get to fly down to a funeral for because I don't want to see you like that. And he's gone periods of time where he's sober.
Hmm.
And then goes back out forever. And I think he thinks he's invincible. And it's like, you're not invincible, sweetheart. It's going to come for you.
Yeah, it's gonna catch up to you. It's gonna catch. I never thought it was gonna catch up to me, and now I like. Man, I just wish I didn't do all those hard drugs, man. It really took a toll on my body, like
You know what
really
though? I
did.
never wish that. I never wish that because I would never have the experiences. I
Well, yeah,
would
you're
probably
right.
never, I probably never would have grew up.
Yeah, it
Like I
really
don't
helped.
like I wouldn't have grew up to be the person I am. I wouldn't have grew up to knowing that life isn't black and white.
No.
Like everybody says life is black and white. It's not black and white. There's so many different colors and spectrums where you don't know until you've been in a situation like any of those situations where it's like, oh, I see a drug addict on the street. Okay, that's just a drug addict. But have you actually ever talked to that person and found out like what their dreams actually were? Because I promise you, 98% of the time, their dream when they were a kid was not to become a drug addict on the street begging for money.
No. No, it's scary out there. It's fucking terrifying being out on the street. It really is. It really is. Like not everybody will admit how terrifying it is, but it just being homeless itself, even if you're not addicted, being homeless is terrifying. Being homeless and just vulnerable and just like, anybody could take advantage of you. It's just crazy. You froze. Are you still there? Are you still there? Ah, shit.
From the side who's going to come up behind you and start trouble even though you're not doing anything. You're being yourself,
Hmm.
enjoying your own moment. I shouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And then my boyfriend's talking about being a whole girl, being weak. I'm sorry, I'm not a weak person. Like I might not be able to take you, but I'm not weak in that moment. Like in that moment, my adrenaline will probably whoop your ass.
Yeah.
Just because I'm weak now and I can't take you and you can pin me on the bed doesn't mean if you were to grab me with a knife to my throat, I'm not going to try to swing on you and try to get you out, get that out of your hand faster than you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been in situations like that. I've been in different situations and he doesn't know all of that because I don't need to bring that up. That's not, my war stories and stuff like that isn't me now.
Yeah. And I also feel like it's so to me it's almost like a balancing act when you're talking about addiction because I don't want to sound like I'm glorifying shit. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that drugs weren't awesome to do. They definitely were. They're fucking amazing. But
There's consequences with
yeah,
everything you do.
there's consequences. And so I feel like it's kind of a balancing act when you're talking about these things to like not glorify it. And I think, you did a really good job. Like everybody that I've had on the show so far has done a really good job, but I try not to make it come across that we're glorifying because there's nothing, they're
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, but you don't need to read a book to know that drugs feel amazing. Okay. Anybody
Yeah,
will
I
tell
mean,
you
like,
that,
yeah, they're
like,
amazing. I mean, they're amazing at one point, but then they're not.
yeah, until they're not. Yeah.
They're fun. They're fun. Like when you first start, you think, "Oh, this is the greatest thing. I don't have to eat. I can be skinny. I don't have to do
Yep.
this. I can be whoever I want." Blah 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 blah. But then when it gets to that point where it's not fun no more, and you have to do it, you have to.
By
There's no
yourself.
choice in the end of it. Yeah,
You have to do
by
it
yourself. Well,
alone.
even yeah, by
Yeah.
yourself, and there's no choice. There's no choices anymore. You have to do it, or there's consequences for not doing it. Then at that point, so if you don't get help, you're gonna die. For the most part, at least meth isn't as worse as like heroin for death and stuff like that. Like you can die on heroin. I mean, you can overdose on meth, but it's more like a heart attack.
Yeah.
With heroin, if you don't taper down from what I heard, because I've never done heroin, like I said, but I've heard if you don't taper down, just like alcohol,
Yeah, if you do it
there,
right away, like cold turkey, you can kill somebody,
yeah, if you like my
right?
friend Nick says he always had a bottle of alcohol on him because if he was clean and sober guy and he said and would let people stay in his house to detox and he would always have alcohol because you would never know when they're gonna go into that seizure because you can go into a seizure without it and then
Hmm. Yeah, your body starts
so
convulsing and seizing up. Yeah, yeah,
and I've never been like in that situation. I mean I've heard it been to where like oh shit I think I did too much my heart's going on in my chest but
yeah,
breathe
yeah.
breathe breathe breathe.
Yeah, I have a couple of stories about that, but I don't want to tell too many stories to sound like I'm glorifying it. You know what I mean? Because
Well, I don't think
there's a
we're
couple.
glorifying it. I think it's just we're telling our story, and if people
Yeah,
want to put it as glorifying,
yeah,
then
you're
that's
right.
on them.
You're right. Yeah,
Because
that I've had that experience where I mean, because when I went to California, uh, I was homeless, and then I ran into this guy who was Let's just say he was bisexual. I'm not bisexual at all, but I knew he liked me. So, and he was like a drug dealer. So I was just like, okay, well, I can get free drugs from him, essentially. And so I
Yes.
fucking, he would get me high every day and fucking just like, I would just like, not lead him on, but I wouldn't like, I would kind of just, he was one, okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. He was one of those guys that would do meth and just want to have sex and all this shit. Just get super fucking horny and shit. And so he'd want to watch porn and shit. And I'd be like, just go do that, whatever. I'm not doing anything. Da 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 da. And it'd be like, just get me high though. Throw me a bag. Da 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 da. And fucking but when I first ran into him, he like gave me some meth or whatever, and I like did the shot, and fucking I was like, I didn't really feel that, man. And I because my tolerance had been going up, and so he's like,
Yeah.
okay. He's like, I got something for you. He's like, come on, let's go to the park. And he took me to this like beautiful fucking park. He was like this, and he never did any weird shit to me. He was like really chill about it. He was like one of those like laid back, like kind of like a little bit like nervous kind of types. So I kind of knew he wasn't gonna do anything drastic. But
Yeah.
he took me to this beautiful park and fucking I just felt like I could somewhat trust him for a little bit. So we went to this park and it was beautiful and we climbed up to the top of this park. It had like this little like makeshift mountain and we walked up to the top where we were like in this gathering of trees and we sat down and he was like, "Okay." So he's like, "I know you didn't feel that first shot. I want you to trust me on this. I'm gonna pull you up. I'm gonna like draw you up a shot. Just let me draw it up and just do what I give you, okay? And I promise you'll be okay. Like I'll be here. I'll take care of you. I'll make sure that you don't like freak out or anything. Just trust me. You're gonna feel this." And so I remember seeing him drawing it up and like in a regular shot, it's not it does not come across oily. This stuff was like an oil. There was so much meth in there that it was like oily
Oh,
when he was pulling it up in the syringe. And it fucking I remember he told me afterwards that it was a gram. He shot me up with like a gram. And so I went and I did the shot. And right when I put the plunger in, like I literally stood up and I was started like moving around. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like I can feel like all the jitters on my every single fucking inch of my body was jitters. And I was just like I felt like I was floating almost. But my feet were on the ground. And fucking I was like, bro, I can't like I'm like freaking out. And he's like, just calm down, take some deep breaths, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth.
wow.
Breathe, calm down. He's like, this is how people have heart attacks, is when they start freaking out after they do a lot of fucking meth in the shot, especially people that inject it. He's like, just calm down, breathe. Look at how beautiful of a place we are. Look at how beautiful it is here. And just like completely brought me back down to home. And from that point on, when I was in California, that was probably one of my worst drug phases because I would be injecting like a gram of heroin or a gram of fucking meth and fucking like half gram of heroin in the same shot and just be like,
Oh, so you were doing speedballs.
yep, yep. I was speedballing and all that whole thing. And he would,
Yeah, I never.
yeah.
Yeah, that never.
So,
But like you're talking about, like yeah, like people like that, like that didn't want anything from you and would give you drugs, but they wanted things from you that like different things. Like you know how everybody wanted your drugs, or
yeah,
everybody
yeah,
wanted your money.
yeah.
Like for me, like it's weird. Like, and that's why a lot of times I didn't want to hang out with guys alone and do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily that they wanted like pure, like, full on. We'll just leave it
Yeah,
at that. But like, hey, watch me do this while you talk to me
yeah,
while we're high.
yeah,
And it's like, and sometimes it's uncomfortable because like if you turn around, no, don't stop watching me. And it was like,
yeah,
bro, how long do you think I could sit here watching this for? It's been an hour now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like,
Like,
bro, come on.
I like they give you more, they give you more. But after a while, it was just like, I'm not even high anymore at this point. Like you're giving me
Yeah.
all
It's
this,
like
and
now
it's
you need to
not
give me
doing.
some more. Like, come on, bro.
No, not even that. Not even that. Like, there's only so high you can get.
Yeah, there really is. There really is. Like you can't get, and after a certain point, like I noticed that if I did too much meth in a shot,
You were
I would get a
sober.
headache. I would get a really bad headache, like a really bad headache. Like it wasn't even like a migraine. It was like almost worse than that. It was like pressure pushing down on both of my
Mm,
temples inside of my
yeah,
head,
yeah.
and I couldn't stop it.
So, like, for alcohol, to me, I think you could definitely drink more than you can do on drugs because you'll drink, 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 drink. You're gonna puke, and then you're gonna
Yeah,
be fine to drink, 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 drink some more.
yeah,
But when you do drugs, you're only gonna get to a maximum high.
Yeah.
Any more after that, you're wasting it anyways because you're not gonna get any higher.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
so people that think, oh, I gotta do more every 5 seconds, well, all right, you're wasting your dope, like,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
like that's glorifying it a little bit. I'm not trying to glorify it because drugs are, I don't know, like I want to save everybody from drugs now. Like I feel like, you know, Captain Save a Ho, like
Yeah,
with
right.
drugs, like and like so Philly is so bad. Like I didn't know. Washington's bad with drugs,
Yeah,
Like so
it's
the
pretty
aspect
bad.
to a little bit of the difference between Philly and like they're still bad in Washington, but like I can step out of my apartment and go like 2 seconds. And we can see somebody literally hunched over, like walking
I
like they're
told
like
you it
a
was crazy out
zombie.
there. I told you it was crazy out there.
Bro, everybody told me, but I did not see like like the to me it's the Walking Dead. My boyfriend said it one day, and I said it literally is the Walking Dead out here. Like I mean, Washington has people like that, but
Yeah, yeah. You have to like
you
more so
gotta
seek that.
look.
Like
But
there's
this is
certain
walking out
parts.
of your apartment. Like this is just walking out of my apartment. I'm like, I was gonna walk to 7-Eleven, and I don't know what this girl was doing, like right outside my apartment. And this guy was like with her, but he was walking a little ahead. I was like, is she all right?
Yeah.
Because she's like just like slumped over walking. Like I'm like, is she gonna like fall over? Like should I,
Yeah, it's
And I'm
crazy.
like, I'm not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
Yeah. But is it, do you feel, at least feel safe in the place you're at, like the apartment? Like you feel safe there?
Feel safe, anybody else tells me I should worry more, like be more. You should like the park is literally one street down is like if you walk across the street and you walk just like 10 more feet, you're at the park.
Okay.
So I don't feel no danger walking to the park because it's
Yeah.
only, but my boyfriend and now he's got my dad on it, My dad was yelling at me the other day, asked me where I was. I said I was at the park, and he's like, well, "Where's Will?" And I'm like, "At work." And he's like, "Well, just come home before it's dark." And I'm like, "Well, when Will goes to work, it's dark. This is my." And he's like, "Actually, go home now." I'm like, Jesus, like you got my dad involved somehow, or how was my dad doing this? I just need that time, and like I don't want to go in the park in the daytime because that's our time. So,
Yeah.
but I need my fresh air. I need my.
Yeah.
If I go scream fuck in my apartment right now, I'm gonna have
Yeah, you're gonna have
people worried. But if
yeah.
I go scream fuck at the park, yeah, there might be the weirdos out there, but they're gonna start screaming fuck with me. We're gonna have a
Yeah,
fuck party.
exactly. Exactly.
We're gonna have a fuck party and like a minus of not actually intercourse, but
Yeah, yeah.
you know, but they're gonna like understand. Like, wait, was like, you can't do that, and I'm like, what do you mean I can't do that? Like, dude, like I've been living my life before I met you, a whole life. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
he did because I love him to death, but I swear he thinks Philly is the only place that has hoods, and Philly is the only place
Oh,
that's hard.
no, no, bro. No.
We
No.
get into mad arguments about that, and I get so mad. Like I fight for Seattle, I fight for Parkland, and
Yeah.
Tacoma. On I don't know if you know anything about like because you live more up on like Burien. I don't know if you
I
know
know
like Pierce County,
Tacoma can get what is it called? Fucking what's that place in Tacoma?
Hosmer,
What was it?
Hosmer, Hosmer.
Osmer? I don't know if
Yeah,
I've heard of
Hosmer,
that one.
and it's.
It's it's like this high, it's not High Point, it's something
Oh,
Point.
are you talking about you're talking about Hill Point or
Yep.
Hill some
Yep.
Hill. Actually, because it used to be, I forgot the first part of it, Hill something. I never lived in the area. That actually used to be the ghetto hood, but now
Yeah.
they all moved down to Hosmer and 86. And
Okay.
that's where if
Okay.
you listen to any, which is right around where I kind of lived in that little area. Like if I walked down more, I'd be towards Hosmer at that time. And, there's always shit happening in Hosmer. Hosmer.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
so when I sit there and I'm like, Hilltop, Hilltop.
Hilltop. Yep. Hilltop. That's
Yeah.
the one.
I
Yep.
knew it was gonna come back to me in a minute once I started talking
Yeah.
about something else, but like, so I'll get so mad, and I don't know why I get so mad, like defending a state, but I get so mad when you're like, and you guys are weak, and then I'm like,
No, there's some hard motherfuckers here in Seattle, dude. Like there really is. And in Tacoma, like there's some real shit going down. It's more
hell, go
like
to fucking Sky, what is it, Sky,
Skyway.
Skyway, yeah, go to Skyway and shit like that at night or
Yeah.
Belltown. You ain't fucking playing around in those
No,
places.
no. If you go to up there at nighttime, you're getting fucking jacked. Like Chinatown's another one of those places I will not go after dark unless I was on drugs, like, and I
Well, I
had
mean,
to.
I've even heard West Seattle is bad at night. You know, when
Oh,
my, you know,
yeah. There's parts of West Seattle that I avoid. Yeah, they're
like when we
definitely like.
went, when I met you the first day and we went to like, you know, the Greyhound station, I heard that little area is bad too.
Oh yeah, it's. I swear to God, any city Greyhound station, the area around that is just addicts,
Sketchy.
fucking drunks, like just all every walk of life is there, dude.
Well, yeah, the
Like,
Greyhound itself, because when I went and take the Greyhound to Philly, which, you know, you went and got it with me and my brother, every other bus that I went on, some dude was trying to give me some drug.
yep, yep.
And I'm
That's
like,
how it
I'm
be.
like, dude, the only thing I do is weed. I'm sorry, you know. And then they'll be like, oh, well, I got weed too. And I'm
Yep,
like,
yep. They'll try and sell you some weed. I got
no,
that
no, because
too.
like I'm thinking, you know what, bro, the weed that you got right now, I wouldn't touch on my life because you already got the heroin, you got the fentanyl, you got
Yeah.
all that. You probably put all that in the weed. No, I'm good. I'll stick to my weed
Yeah, no,
pens.
fuck that. Especially since now, like fentanyl can be found has been found in weed. Like, I've been telling people, like you should buy it from a store and or grow it because, like, if you get it from somebody on the street, you get some weed from somebody at the methadone clinic, you might not be able to fucking trust that. You get some weed from somebody downtown selling you like three dimes for $10, like you probably can't trust that like anymore.
So
Like,
when I went to Philly, because Philly isn't weed legal yet. They
okay,
have like where the medical, but they're not like street. So when I came there, I had lollipops, I had gummy bears, I had the chocolate whoppers, I had weed, I had vape pens, and my boyfriend was like, if you would have gone on the bus, you would have got caught, you would have been popped. And being where I was, I sold actually a lot of that off to like his friends and stuff like that. I got a lot of money doing it that way. So like I was like, maybe this will be a side hustle for me,
I know,
you
right?
know, but like and then when I did go to the one store that they had there, they wanted so an eighth in Seattle, I can't remember, it's probably like 40, $50, right? For an eighth.
A good one, a good quality one. Yeah,
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 a good one. So I
yeah,
buy $40, 3 grams, which is not an eighth
yeah.
at all or close to an eighth for $45.
That's crazy. That's like $15 extra.
For like bunk weed, I mean, like it was okay, but it wasn't Seattle weed. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
miss Seattle weed.
yeah. I
Like I tell
bet.
my
I
boyfriend
bet.
all the time, I'm like, babe, he's like, well, why don't we go to that place again? And I was like, well, I'll try to try Jersey one of these days. They go to their dispensary and like,
You're close to Jersey. Honestly, I would go to Jersey or New York,
that's
dude.
yeah, like
Like
I'm like
literally, like
literally 15 minutes from Jersey, but I get to find somebody that wants to drive. But I'm like 15 minutes from Jersey. But when he was like, well, let's go to this store and the same store, and I said, babe, I'd rather not smoke.
you know what?
He's like, well, why is that? And I said, because I'm wasting my weed because I have to hit it another 10 minutes later to keep the same high that in Seattle. Like I said, you can say a lot of shit about Seattle. We might not be as hard as Philadelphia, but we got better weed.
We got fucking bomb weed, dude. We got
We don't
some
have to
fucking really good
go.
weed.
We don't have to go every 10 minutes and take, you know, a
No.
bowl of weed to be high. Like we're good for an hour with what we smoke. And so I'm like, I'm not waiting. I was like, I'm not wasting money on this. I'm just like, and their pens are like $60 for a gram.
And it's probably not even that good of fucking quality of fucking
No, it doesn't even look like
stuff
the
in there,
pens
you
that we
know?
got, like the bubble, you know, like I like the not bubble pens, but I like the what do they call it? The geek bar ones that look like geek bars.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, the one
and they
they're
don't
about
have
this big.
like you know,
Yeah.
they're like this little
Yeah.
smaller. But I like those and they don't have those there. And I'm like, you know, and I'm not spending a grand. So my boyfriend's sister's boyfriend is going to lives in Indiana. So I'm sending him $30 and he's gonna buy me three of them for the price of what I'm gonna get
Nice.
here in Washington because I can't do it. I can't do it, dude. I just can't buy their weed.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm sorry. No, you lost my business. I'll buy my vape pens from you for nicotine, but you lost my business when it comes to weed. No.
Yeah.
And I don't think weed's the gateway to fucking drugs at
No, I
all. And I
don't.
don't think if you do weed, you're gonna go and get meth. Because I
No.
didn't smoke as much weed until after I did meth.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, weed has helped me stay sober. I'm not gonna like it has been part of my recovery process. And a lot of
So
people
I
will
don't know
hate
if you
on
get a
that, but
lot of
you know, like
anxiety. Do you have like a lot of anxiety now after quitting weed and like you feel the anxiety like 20 times worse?
yeah, yeah. The weed helps with the
And I don't
anxiety
know
a
if you do
lot.
meds for it. I won't do meds. I'm not gonna get back on. I'm not gonna do Xanax. I'm not gonna do any of that because when they tell me to take one pill, I'm a fucking addict. I'm gonna take three or four of them
Yeah,
bitches.
yeah. Yeah, no.
And so
I don't even like
I
Xanax. Like it gets you way too fucked up. You can't remember anything. Like,
I'd rather smoke a bowl of weed when I got my anxiety or,
yeah.
hit my vape pipes when I get anxiety. I'm not gonna take like benzos because I know me. If I take benzos, I'm gonna be right back to doing meth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And shame on the pharmaceutical people. And I'm gonna say that big pharma. I know you're probably not political, but this is my statement on that. Shame on you guys for pushing them.
Yeah, and continuing to push them and making commercials. We're the only country in the world that is okay with pharmaceutical companies doing fucking commercials on TV.
Well, we're the only place in the world where you pay for medical.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you go to England, if you go to Australia, you go to Canada, you go to any of those places, you're not paying like we're paying for. You might not get the most best care like we do here, but you can minimize some of our health care to affordable to people.
yeah, yep.
But you don't. But we don't want that. We don't want that because big pharma can't get their money off. I'm sorry for going political and
No,
all that.
no, no,
I'm
no. It's all
sorry.
good. Fuck Big Pharma. I will say it too. Fuck Big Pharma. Big Pharma fucking got
Like,
everybody hooked on opiates and shit. Like
yeah,
fucking
like pain pills and shit. How
yeah,
many times like you go to pain pills? That's why 90, well, not 90, I'll say probably 65, 70% of people that are on heroin started off by having an incident happen and having Percocets or something. And then you take the Percocets away from them. And what are they gonna do to they got pain.
yeah,
So what are they gonna do? Oh, well, here's this thing over here that's gonna be less money, not have to worry about saying no and feeling like I'm a drug addict and I'm gonna get, my pain fixed. For example, like I don't have sciatica anymore since I moved here because I don't know if it's the weather that changed it, but I had really bad sciatica.
mm-hmm.
And one day I went to urgent care and PL up, and they told me straight out, the guy said, "We don't really like to help people with kinds like you." So I thought at first it was because I'm like, a little chubby or whatever. Like, sciatica is pushing on, so I
Yeah,
was like, well, I understand I'm a little, overweight or whatever. They're like, no, like people that like to use drugs. And I'm like, oh, really? So you're telling me I use drugs? That's nice because I think the last time I think did drugs was almost 12 years ago, sir.
yeah,
So what are you trying to say? I was like, what? Give me my paperwork.
yeah.
And I went to another, I wasn't looking for drugs at that point. I wanted something. And then I went to, I ended up going to, uh, what was it? Good Sam's. And the guy tried to do the same thing. And I said, you know what? If I want to get high, sir, honestly, if I want to get high right now, I'm not spending 6 hours in the ER.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to go
fuck
down
that.
Pack Highway. I'm going to go down Pack Ave. And I'm going to score fentanyl. I'm going to score high heroin. And I'm going to solve it that way. All I want to do is find out what's wrong with me, how we can somewhat fix it, and get better. And all they had to do was give me a shot of Toradol,
Yep, yep,
which
Toradol,
is
yep.
not even, yeah, Toradol's not even a major drug or
Yeah,
like, a
it's not.
major opiate. And that took the pain away for like 3, 4 days at a time. I don't want drugs because I don't need that life again. I don't want to be raped again. I don't want to be homeless. I like living in a house. I like having food.
Yep. Yeah,
So, people that tell me
your basic needs met, you know?
I like taking a shower, man. Like I had a headache this morning. I went and took a shower, like a 30-minute shower, which I normally don't do, but I was like, I was in pain. And I could have went and got something for that pain real quick and got it better in like, 10 minutes. But I don't think about that till later on because that's not my go-to.
Yeah.
My go-to is how can I solve pain now? How can I, relieve my pain without having to worry about being homeless again? Being, Let's see the thing about my boyfriend, bless his heart. Well, I'll save you. You wouldn't be doing that. You won't do that around me. And I'm like, honey, I love you. But if I'm going back to drugs, you don't matter.
Yeah, nothing
You do not
matters.
matter at that point. You don't matter. This apartment don't matter. Your family don't matter. My family don't matter. Nobody matters but what I'm about to go do. You don't even exist no more in my life. If my mind is set up to do drugs, you don't exist.
No, no,
So saving me, Captain Save a Hoe isn't gonna work.
no, no.
Because if that's the case, and I don't know about you, do you go to like AA and places like them at all? Or do any of that?
I did. I've tried a lot of different ways to get sober, and just NA personally wasn't for me. I just couldn't be around people every single week talking about their addictions. I just didn't want to. Personally, that's just me, but it works for a lot
Yeah.
of people, and I say if it works for you, then do it. I'm not, I
I
don't.
don't like NA. I don't like NA at all because NA like when we go back to glorifying it, they glorify their addiction. They
Yeah.
glorify on how like they don't go on recovery based on how it is.
Hmm.
But like AA is recovery. When people try to tell me drugs is not in AA, a drug is a drug is a drug no matter what.
Hmm.
Like coffee is a fucking drug.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and if you actually read the book of AA, Bill and Bob were doing sedatives and drinking. What are sedatives?
Yeah.
Drugs.
Yeah.
And so like for me, I like going to AA. I still do my Zoom meetings every once in a while because I like listening and helping people out. But like
Hmm.
I forgot where I was going with that, to be honest.
Oh, it's all good.
But like, I mean, I don't, and like people are like, oh, you shouldn't associate with people that do drugs anymore. It's like, okay, if people said that about me, I would have never been sober.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what made you entirely get off drugs? Like you asked me, what made you entirely get off drugs? Like what was your final, I'm done?
Um, My body, just like essentially that coughing thing that I was talking about with the meth, just like got to be every single time that I did meth, I was coughing and I couldn't breathe and I just felt like I was drowning. And so that would be pretty much my entire high from the time I took the shot to the time I came down or fell asleep because I was exhausted from fucking coughing. Um, so there was that. So that's why I was just like, fuck meth. I'm just done with meth. It's gonna kill me. It's literally gonna kill me. The same kind of thing happened with cigarettes. I stopped cigarettes because I couldn't fucking breathe that well. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just no more cigarettes. Fuck that. And then with the heroin, it was methadone really helped me a lot with that. I'm still on methadone. I don't have any cravings for the opiates. I am working on tapering off of it, but I think a combination of just getting to a point where I was so fed up with the the things that would happen after I got high and the
Uh-huh.
situations I would be put in after I got high and just like my family, just like all the shit that I put them through and just my
Oh yeah,
dad
yeah, yeah.
my dad recently died. He was dealing with Alzheimer's. That's kind of the reason that I relapsed this most recent time is because I was living with my dad and I had to see him every day with the Alzheimer's and I couldn't do anything to
Oh, did
help
you
him
end up
really. And
relapsing just recently? I didn't know that.
no, 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 no. This was my
Oh.
last relapse before like I got clean or whatever.
Oh,
So
because I
this
know
was
your dad just passed away, so.
yeah, okay, so my dad just passed away, but before that, before I got kicked out of my
Oh,
dad's
then
house, I was
watching him and everything that was going on was
yeah,
the
yeah,
process of him to pass away. Okay. I was like,
yeah.
wow, like, I talked to you every once in a while. I would have thought like that would have sort of came out.
Yeah, no,
So
it's
like you don't feel like any like you need any outside help at all, like other than the methadone,
I
like to like
did the most so I when I finally chose to get clean, it was my third rehab attempt and my mom said I was told my mom I'm finally ready to do it. Let's try this. And so she said, "Okay, if we're doing this, then I'm requiring you to go to rehab." I did not want to go to rehab because I was like, I don't need like I'm just done. I'm done. I don't need rehab. I'm just sick. I'm just completely done. I want to be off this shit. And so she was like, "But as a requirement for me to help you and continue helping you as your mother, you need to complete rehab." So she put me in rehab in Yakima, and I pretty much
sunny
like
side.
what was that? What's up?
Sunny side. Everybody goes to sunny side.
It was in Spokane.
Oh.
ABHS. ABHS. Associated Behavioral Health Services
Oh, okay.
in Spokane. And no, 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 it wasn't in Yakima. Sorry. That was the first one I went to. Sorry, I got mixed up. So
I
Spokane,
was
And then
Yeah.
I did my rehab. I got done with all of my fucking because the day I got in there, I was like, what is required of me to get out of here? So they're like, gave me all the paperwork. I was like, no, I want every single fucking assignment. I'm gonna fucking pump this out like right fast. So I got done within like 28 days, and they were trying to keep me
Mhm.
there another week. They're like, even though they graduated me in the program, like literally at the rehab, I had already graduated, done the ceremony, had my certificate, but they're like, we want you to stay here another week because of the, and it was because of the billing. They wanted to bill me for that whole
Yeah,
month.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So they were trying to get me to stay, and then some weird shit happened where I woke up in the morning and my pants were down to my ankles, and nobody would, and people were saying we checked the cameras, nobody was in your room, and then
Ah.
there was this whole thing like people were telling me that the fucking rehab was haunted, so it might have been some paranormal shit or somebody came in my room and pulled my pants down. Cause like I had
Oh,
my
but I'd
pants
be out. I'd be out. I'd
like
be
I
out.
was like I called my mom and I was like I'm not staying here. I've graduated already. Like I want to be out of here. Like this is weird. My pants were down to my ankles when I woke up. Like I want the fuck out of here. Nobody's saying anything. Like and so she came and picked me up. And so after that, then she pretty much helped me start the process. And she was like, if you go to rehab, I promise I will make sure you get into a house and get into stable living. And I will help pay your rent for a couple months until you get because I had to go to DSHS and start
Yeah,
applying for SSI and
yeah.
all of that. So she was like, I'll help you, but you had to do the whole rehab. So that's why I did the rehab. Got out. My mom helped me get into a place to live and I was on the methadone clinic, so I was like I was already stable for a while, and that's pretty much the formula I've been using is I have an apartment of my own. I go to the methadone clinic once a month.
Yeah,
I'm on monthly, so it's pretty much the same thing at this point that of getting a prescription for the month for me.
yeah.
I don't
So for
have
like
to go
me,
there
it's
every
like
day.
I have like an AA sponsor and I have an NA sponsor, and she gave me this workbook I have to do, and like the questions aren't basically they're on your addiction, but they're also on like characteristics of like living. Like one of the questions I just did was like, do I get upset easily when plans are changed and stuff like that? I get hella pissed when plans are changed. If we're gonna do that, you like I don't even mean to like, but if you're like, oh, we're gonna have a movie day and then his sister comes over and we're gonna do something else. Well, I thought we were having date night. Like it pisses me off.
Yeah, yeah,
And so like, but like this work which I'm doing is helping me see like where my thinking goes, like my thinking because I'm writing it down is actually really helpful. I don't know if you like doing work, like workbooks and like I don't know if like self-help and shit like that, but like get the NA book and even if you want to like talk to the questions out with me once you're doing them, like it actually is helping a lot more than I thought. Like I didn't need help for my addiction right now. Like I have 11 years off of it. But I don't know if like you have other issues where like mental health is a because let's talk about that part for example. Mental health is a big part of rehab and
yeah,
a big part
yeah.
of like being off of drugs. Like a lot of people think, oh, it's just getting off of drugs. But once
You
you get
need to
off drugs,
rewire your
there's like
brain. You need to rewire your brain and your thinking.
counseling and shit
Yeah,
like that. I don't like going to counseling because I don't like the feeling of how does that make you feel.
yeah.
But this is the workbook that I'm doing. Nobody's actually asking how do I make you feel, and it's making me think back of situations where I've done things, and it's like, oh my god, like I really was a douche there, or I really was, I really am a douche here. Like, it's weird.
Or like this makes me angry and I didn't know that that actually upsets me as much as it does, you know? And like this is it, so that's a trigger for me, you know what I mean? Like
No, you wanted to do drugs.
yeah.
You made it up in your mind that you already wanted to do drugs because anytime I did drugs, it wasn't because somebody put it to my head that there was a trigger. It wasn't to anything like that. It's because I wanted to do them.
Yeah.
I put it in my brain that it was a good idea, and I can't stop doing that until I get rid of until I do drugs. I can't stop not thinking about it. That's what makes me an addict.
Yeah.
Not the drug. The drug has nothing to do with it. It's my brain that one. It is anything. Like if you overeating, like if you like say you're hungry but you're not going to eat, your brain got to keep telling you you're hungry until you eat something, right?
Yeah.
But necessarily, you don't need to eat. Your brain's doing that because you're bored.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like your
A
brain
lot of
does
the
things to
time, yeah.
you that like a lot of people don't understand. And like I'm learning doing this work of how much your brain really does do things like that. It's
Yeah,
kind of
half
crazy.
of
Like
it.
I just started.
Yeah, half of it, I did a lot of that. Like when I said I did all that work when I got there, right? A lot, like literally that was the work, like reflecting on my life and like what triggers I had and like how my, like what things made me upset. Like that was all the paperwork that I had to do in rehab. So, it was like a self-reflection thing where you kind of reflect on
Yeah.
yourself and stuff like that. Yeah, I've
But a
done a
lot
lot.
of it didn't actually have to do with the drugs. It had to do more about you than the drugs
Yep.
in it.
Yep.
Just like my boyfriend says, oh, well, I have willpower. That's why I never did drugs. It doesn't matter willpower.
I had a lot of willpower too. I had a lot of willpower.
I had willpower to get off drugs. I had willpower to stay off drugs. But you know what? It still didn't help me. And
No,
like, so like when he says like willpower and stuff like that, I'm like, or it's because people don't have willpower, or people don't have the other word I can't think of right now. But it's like it's not that cut and dry.
mm-mm.
It's not black and white. We didn't have willpower, that's why we're doing drugs. No, we didn't wake up and say, "Oh, I wanted the power to do drugs today."
No, fuck no.
No, like it had nothing to do with that. And like, so when my boyfriend says stuff like that, like I literally get enraged.
Mm,
Enraged. Like he's like, "Why are you getting so mad about it? It's just a discussion." And I was like, "It's a discussion that I really don't want to have anymore because it
yeah,
doesn't do anything for me but piss me off because you don't know."
yeah.
He doesn't, because I think, and I say this a lot, people that haven't been in addiction and didn't do drugs don't know what it's actually like.
No, they
They
don't.
see people and they have friends. I have friends that were on drugs. Okay, but you don't know the feelings of it. You don't know how it fucks up your head. You don't know the psychological part of it, how it does on your body. You don't know any of that. So you like talking on it. And my brother would try to do it too. My brother said he could be a sponsor. My brother told me, how are you gonna be a sponsor and never did drugs?
Yeah, you have to have experience, lived experience with that.
You can't be a counselor of sexual abuse, but never has some training in it or some causes for sexual abuse.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
no,
I mean, like so when people tell me they know addiction, and I'm like, oh, how long were you addicted to? Oh, I've never been addicted. I'm sorry, you don't.
yeah, you don't. You really don't.
Not trying to be that bitch or that whatever, but you don't because you can't tell me what it's like. You can't tell me what it's like when you have no drugs and your whole body's itching. You're itching all over because you have no way. Your body is trying to get you to do drugs, and and you're uncomfortable at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and you cannot think of anything else. You literally like people try and distract me. It's like I can't fuck off. I need to get drugs. Like this is what I'm focused on right now. Like I
And they'll be
can't
like,
do
"Oh, well, if you had
anything.
willpower, you wouldn't think about it." If I had willpower, there wouldn't have been a drug in the beginning of me to put in my body.
Yeah,
So it has nothing to do with willpower. It has to do with the psychological of why you did it. And like people say, oh, because of my family or because of this, because no, because your family wasn't there when you started doing drugs. Your parents weren't there giving you, well, maybe they were some people's parents, but for the most part, your mom wasn't there saying, here, take this.
yeah,
It's
no,
because you wanted to try it. You wanted to. So I don't ever say, oh, my parents, because of the trauma of my life, my mom leaving me when I was 14. It's traumatic and it makes me not think of it. But that's not why I did it.
yeah,
Because I was 20 years old. Was my mom with me at 28 telling me to do drugs? No.
yeah,
I decided to do that. So I
yeah,
don't know if that's
definitely.
off base or anything of what we're
No,
talking about,
no,
but it's like it's weird when people tell me that, like, oh, my boyfriend made me do it. Oh, did he put it to your throat?
yeah,
Did he put it in you already? Like how did he make you? Well,
yeah,
he kept talking about it. Okay, you could have left.
yeah. Just remove yourself from the situation. And sometimes that's not
I
enough,
mean,
but still, it's not them forcing you to do it with a knife to your throat, you know? It was your
I mean,
choice
like
to
when
get
I
up and do it,
first
you
got
know?
on meth and I met that guy and I ended up letting him, like, using meth, snorting some of that. He tried to stop me. Well, how can I blame him?
Yeah,
But did I blame him at first? Yeah. Well,
yeah,
if he would have said no and he would have just never gave it to me, well, if I wouldn't have asked for it and persisted on it, he wouldn't have done it.
right?
So it's not anybody else's fault but it's your fault. And so for people that say that it's somebody else's fault, to me, they can literally fuck off in my mind.
Well, yeah, you should just take a look at yourself and really, really think about like who's running the show. Like, yeah, it's the drug running the show, but also it's your decisions that are contributing to you
Your
continuing to
decision,
use
I so
drugs.
like when my boyfriend says it was my decision. yes, it was my addition. It was my decision. The first moment that I did it, the
Yeah,
first hit, it was my decision to start it. But after that, my decision was taken away and my addiction became that
your
because
addiction's
there was
running the
no
show.
way.
Yeah,
There was no way after that my mind would shut up unless I did drugs until I got to the point where it was too much and I got hit my bottom, as they say.
yep, yep. Okay. Um, okay, I have one more question for you because we're a little bit over time, but I've enjoyed talking to you. That's the time's flown, honestly. Um,
And as I looked into it, I said, "Oh, he said a half hour. It's well over an
yeah,
hour."
yeah.
All right,
What
what's your
would
last question?
Yeah, what would be your advice to somebody that is struggling right now with addiction and doesn't know how to go about getting clean? Like what has helped you the most? And then on top of that, what has helped you the most to stay sober?
Can I think about that for a second?
What's up?
What would I do? Can I think about that for like a second?
Yeah, yeah, no
Like to give
problem.
an honest, good answer? Like
Yeah,
it would be to help somebody. I mean, so many people in your life. It doesn't have to be an addict per se. And anywhere you go, somebody knows somebody that did drugs, or somebody knows somebody that can get you the help that you need. So you need to, instead of saying it's my problem and nobody can help me, open up. You need to open up and tell people what's really going on. Because if you don't open up, a lot of us people didn't know we had a drug addiction. People didn't know that we were doing drugs. We didn't know. And so if you open up, to, I mean, shit, open up to a priest, or anyone. Just be like, hey, I have this problem. I don't know what to do. I can't stop. Can you please help me? Point me in the direction, or even whatever you can do for me. But I can't live like this anymore. Even go to a police officer. Like I know people say fuck the police. They're gonna help you the most.
yeah, yeah.
Unless you get a cricket cop. I mean, for the most part, they don't want you on the streets. They don't want to
No.
have to worry about you. They don't want to have to scrape you off the streets because you overdosed.
Yeah, yep.
And what's the biggest thing that got keeps me sober? I like who I am now.
Okay.
I don't have to look in the mirror and think I'm a shitty ass person for whatever reason it was. I didn't like me. Oh, I'm too big or I'm too this. No, I like who I am now. If you don't like me, I don't care. Like your opinion doesn't matter anywhere. Like, in school being bullied and stuff because I wasn't that size two, princess.
Yeah.
No, but I like who I am. I'm nice, I'm caring, I'm sweet, I'm mysterious in my own ways. Like, if I don't want you to know something, you're not gonna know it. Like, I
Yeah.
love that part of me. I love how I write, I'm a good writer. Like, I can write you things, like, you're like, that would keep me wanting, like, telling my stories. Like you said, time flew. Only because that's the kind of stuff that thinks in my head that I can write for hours and hours and hours and hours
Mm-hmm.
upon.
Yeah, because you lived it.
Not even drug life. I mean, just, if you can give me a subject, like you can tell me to write you about monsters. And in my mind, I'll write a 3 hour conversation, 3 hour, 3 page thing on monsters just because my imagination is so vivid.
That's awesome.
All
That's
right.
awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And I would be open to doing a part two in the future. I would just have to come up
Oh,
with
I would love to
questions.
do a part two anytime. Like, I'll even do a part two next month if you need somebody.
Okay.
If I can help one person out of this, then, that's what I want.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I will be in touch about that. But in the meantime, think about like what you might want to talk about
All
and just
right.
like
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
make some like bullet points or something
Bullet
like
points.
that. And then I'll get yeah, bullet
Jinx, you owe
points.
me a Coke. Jinx,
Right.
you owe me a Coke. You're gonna come to Philly and give me a Coke. Hey, if you come to Philly, I'll buy you a Philly cheesesteak.
Are they bomb out there?
I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I tried to argue with my boyfriend that you can't have better just because you're from somewhere. No, they are like actually really good.
That's
From
fire.
some places, you can get other places where they're not so good, but like pizza sucks here.
Pizza
Like
sucks? Oh
you,
my
like
God.
it's like the couple places that we've gone and got pizza. Like in my mind, one place didn't even cook it all the way. It was still like dough. And the places he goes to like aren't so good. I'm just like, So we argue about what we're gonna eat every day, like when we get money. Is I'm like, you just need to order something, anything but pizza.
Anything but
And
pizza.
then,
Hey,
and then he
Dom,
calls me picky. He calls me picky, and I'm like, I just don't like pizza here.
they
Like,
don't
buy
have
me pizza.
Domino's? They don't have
I
Domino's?
mean, they do, but like he likes the mom and pop places, like
Oh, okay.
one place. So I am gonna say Ozzy's Pizza in Philadelphia is pretty good, but not their sausage. Their pepperoni pizza is good, but their Philly cheesesteak sandwich is not the best. Like, so I'm like, you get a Philly, you get that. I'm gonna get the Philly cheesesteak because I don't really like, get a small pizza for you because I don't really like I don't like pizza there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, for sure.
All
Yeah.
right, so yeah, I'll come up with you with some new topics, and you come with me with some so we can collaborate to what we can have our next podcast. But I would love to do one every month if you want. I mean, this kind of took
Okay.
some of my day away because my boyfriend's at work. So
Awesome.
for
Awesome. Okay, yeah,
yeah, all right. So
I'll be in touch about that. And thank you so much for watching. If you watched so far, please make sure you hit the like, subscribe if you're not already, leave a comment. Everything helps the video, helps push it out into the algorithm to help more people, and so we get more eyes on it. And with that being
oh,
said,
one more question. Can you
yeah,
send that to me, the whole podcast, so I can show people some of the things I've did? Is there a way we
yeah,
can
I
like?
can,
Is there
yeah,
a
I
way you can
can,
do that?
yeah. So are you going to be uploading it, or are you going to
I
be
don't know
just
how I
showing
can
it
do
to
it. Like
people?
I'm gonna do it. Like probably I can do an upload if you send me like it. I can look off my phone. Maybe something I kind of just want to see what it looked like back on
Okay, I'll
myself.
just
Like
send you a copy because I'd prefer if I mean you can upload it if you want to. You can do what you want, but I'll just send you a copy. You can do whatever you want with
and
it.
if I uploaded it to Facebook, you wouldn't mind, would you? So like people could see like and what
No,
we talked
just
about,
just
like how that.
if you do, tag me in it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm attacking me in anything I do, just so other people on my side that are in addiction can see what your other
Oh yeah,
take
yeah, yeah.
on it.
Just like just share it so people know that
Yeah,
it's
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally do that.
All
Yeah.
right, cool.
Yeah.
I will talk to you later. Have a
All
blessed
right.
night,
All
and God
right.
bless everybody else.
All right. Have a good
Unless, should
night.
we end with a moment of silence again? Should we end
Oh
with like
yeah,
a,
yeah. Okay,
or the
here's a
Serenity Prayer even? Maybe in the
yeah,
Serenity
if
Prayer?
you want to do that, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Do you
So,
know it?
on the count of three, you can go ahead and do it.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God bless you guys. Have a nice life,
All
or have a
right.
nice time.
Yeah, have a
Bye.
nice night. Bye, y'all.
You